All right. Hey, I'm live. Okay, so I'm live and I'm Cindy, and this is January 16th. Time is now 4:55 of the PM. That's Central Standard Time, 16:55 if you're counting it on military time. Uh, but yes, 4:55 PM, January 16th, 2025. And I'm going to be doing a little show here. This is something I was doing on Facebook. Now I'm going to try and do this over on YouTube, try and see if we can't build a channel here. Maybe you like what my work was, what I do, and perhaps maybe I can come up with some funny stuff to even say about whatever events. But right now, I kind of made my notes here as far as what happened today. So what, and I'm not talking about news. I'm talking about olds. So we're talking about not really the news. I guess it was news at some point in time, but it's not news anymore. This has now been in the history books. It's and it's logged, and that's that. So that's where we're at right here with this. So let's just get into it here pretty soon. So the format is really basically this. I'm going to I'm going to read out little factoids here, and kind of trying to relay them to regular to the news of the things of the events of today. So as you can see here, I do actually write this down on things. So this is what I'm going to be talking about here. So here's where we go. Um, so basically, we're going to get through two pages of notes. This is not everything. Okay, this is not everything that happened. I can't, I would be here all day if I just went over every little thing. So these are just like little events that happened on this day, and you can find this stuff on thisday.com. That's the website that I'm using here to find this stuff. If I could figure out how to share it, I would. Uh, but maybe we'll get to that at some point in time. Maybe we'll get to that at some point in time. Actually, I think it usually probably even works out better if I actually was able to maybe kind of read it along, and then kind of, that's my original thinking. But we'll see if we can find out some things uh, as to where we are. So I'm going to start off in the year 27 BC. Uh, all these numbers, they actually all mean something. Numbers do have meanings. I'm not much of a numerologist here. I just know that the numbers do have meanings, and there's plenty of people out there. But so this was 27 BC. None of us are here today were I don't think any of us that are here today were alive back then. So we're just going to have to take our word for it, or take somebody's word for it that this actually happened, uh, and the date is correct, even though there has been calendar changes since then. So, in the year 27 BC, the title of Augustus is bestowed upon Gaius Julius. Is it Gaius? Gaius. That's his, I guess his first name, Julius Caesar Octavian, by the Roman Senate. So what does that mean for, like, as far as today? Well, I think right now we're going through some sort of seven confirmations and stuff like that. So this seems to be the time of the year for that. That seems to be the time. This is probably the time of the year that these things do happen. So this actually happened all the way back in 27 BC. So I wonder if back then, if they knew that someday somebody would be, talking about they're probably not. But it's just, I don't know. I'm going on this thing that perhaps it's possible that time travel has actually happened, and it's not exactly is not exactly well known, because something has happened to our reality. By the way, I know that something has definitely happened to my reality, um, and something is definitely going on with reality as people. There's You don't have to go look too far here on YouTube that to see that there's plenty of people saying there's something off. So there's just something off. So that's by the Roman Senate, right? Well, I mean, I guess right now there are having Senate confirmations of new cabinet members. So the new administration could be all can hit the ground running. So hopefully that's all doing too well. I'm not going to get too much into the actual regular real news as to what actually happens today. Just kind of a general idea of what's kind of going on in the world today right now. So We're going to jump up now from 27 BC all the way up to 412. In the year 412, or I was not 412, the year 1412, 1412. So January 6th of 1412, the Medici family is appointed the official banker of the papacy. So I wonder who's the banker of the papacy now. And I have to wonder if it's the papacy, is the Roman Catholic Church, are they all into the Bitcoin and the cryptos and everything like that? I'm sure they've got their hands in plenty of it or something like that. But I wonder if the Medici family is still kind of around. It's probably, that's a word. I mean, that's a name that we don't really hear too often anymore. But I'm sure there's probably still members. I mean, that was only 600 and some odd years ago, so there's probably still members. If they were a big, powerful family like that back 613 years ago, I'm sure there's probably still members of the Medici family around today. So they might be, and then those people, it's possible. It's possible. I have no way of knowing this, or I'm not going to look it up, but it's possible that there are people out there that were part of that family that they've been running this show for a long time. So again, this is allegedly. I don't know, and I'm not really looking it up right there. You always have to wonder exactly kind of how the papacy actually stays in business, because from what I've heard, they issue their own money there in the Vatican. Of course, it's surrounded by Italy, but yeah, and it has something to do with stamps. So somehow or another, but of course they get donations worldwide from all their believers. So as I don't know exactly what there could be approaching a billion people that follow Catholicism around the world. It's possible. It is possible. I mean, again, I don't have the exact number, so don't quote me on that there. Now we're going to jump up to 1492. And 1492, the first grammar of a modern language, which was Spanish at the time, was set by Queen Isabella. So way back in 1492, same year that Christopher Columbus went to the New World, um, the first grammar use of the modern language, Spanish. So that was back in 1492. Um, Spain was a very huge empire way back then. So they had a thing, and actually, kind of to bring it home today, it seems to me that we're kind of going towards a multilingual future here in this country right now, in America, in the United States of America. As it seems to me that everywhere I go, Spanish is getting a lot more prevalent. And I was just actually in my job earlier today, just out listening, and there was people out there. They were basically having a conversation in both Spanish and English at the same time. So mostly Spanish, but then with English words, kind of, So I didn't know what they were really talking about, because I don't really speak Spanish. I know un poquito in the Espanol, but not anywhere near fluent. So in the year 1493, Christopher Columbus. Speaking of Christopher Columbus, he leaves the New World, sets sail back to Spain. So this is a year later, or after he discovered the New World in the year 1493, and January 16th, 1493. I wonder kind of how people know that. How we've been able to, were there that good of records kept? There must have been very good records kept. So obviously we're very, very good at keeping records. And once it's out there, it's out there. So I mean, if that holds true, if this is the true thing, so uh, just this day back in 1493, which would be, what would that be, 32 years ago? Sounds about right. 1493, 2025. Yep, 530 32 years ago, Christopher Columbus left the New World, and he set sail back to Spain. So that's what happened there. In the year 1531, the English, January 16th, 1531, English Reformation Parliament has its second sitting. So that just has to do with law and government and everything like that. So they had their second sitting right now, or back in the year 1531. Why I'm picking out that little factoid mostly is because of the 31. they're in the 1531, as we now kind of have things that apparently the people in the world want to have accomplished by the year 2031, which would be or 2030, 2030, 2031. It's possible. So that that would be 500 years later. Look how far we've come, or look how far we've fallen, or look how far something. I don't know. Anyway, we'll go to 1547, January 16th, 1547. Ivan the Terrible, at the age of 17, crowns himself the first Tsar of Moscow. I hope this is not I hope that little historic event is not kind of a precursor to something happening soon. I hope that the incoming president does not declare himself czar, although he does have czars like the border czar and everything else like that. But I mean, to actually be the one czar, I think I've heard, if I've heard correctly, Vladimir Putin does kind of want to bring back the whole things of Peter the Great, but that's another story, another time. So 1547, obviously, that 47 is sticking out as far as the number goes, and so does the 17. 17 being Q. So I don't know. Is there a conspiracy there or not? Anything's possible, folks. Anything is possible. There could be conspiracies all over. That's why I'm looking through the history books here, trying to find something. I'm trying to find a clue, and I'm trying to maybe not find a clue. I'm trying to get a clue. No, I'm trying to find clues as to how do we get here, and is it reversible? Is it all just part of a script? Is it all just is there anything that your average person can do to stop any potential uh, collapse or train wreck or something like that from ever happening? Uh, I don't know. I don't know. It seems to me that things are maybe could be going off the cliff real soon here. It's quite possible. There's a lot of people out there, especially here on YouTube, that seem to be talking about we're expecting something to happen. We don't know what's going to happen, but something is big. Reality is about to shift again. So if you know what I'm talking about, good for you. But please chime in. Let me know in the comments or something what do you think I'm getting towards or getting at or something like that. Oh, by the way, comments, yes, I leave the comments open. So I would welcome any kind of comments, any kind of comments. I'm looking for, you could be my first commenter. I've made videos here on the past. I'm not sure if anyone's ever actually commented on any of the videos I've ever made, but you make a comment, uh, you could be the first commenter that have ever commented on one of my videos. It's possible. There's an incentive for you. I mean, it's not going to win you anything other than the fact that you like I was the first commenter on Cindy's channel, uh, something like that. So 1556, January 16th, 1556, Holy Roman Emperor Charles V abdicates his role as King of Spain and anoints his son Philip II of Spain. Now that does sound like something that could possibly happen. Was it going to happen? Is something similar going to happen like that? Now we don't have a Holy Roman Emperor anymore, but we still have kings and queens in this world, and it's possible. And actually, we've got a king, and his name is Charles. So is it possible he's going to abdicate his role as king of England anytime soon and flip it over to his son William? It's possible. Anything is possible in this world. Okay. 1581. English Parliament passes a law against Catholicism. Okay, so again, I was just talking about England here. 1581, England, English Parliament passes a law against Catholicism. They had a big problem with this a long time ago. They decided that that's why they switched, and they stopped being a Catholic nation and became a kind of a Protestant nation under the Church of England. I think there's all kinds of things going on right now with the Church of England. It's from what I understand, they want people to kind of look at their religion as something different than what it was. Of course, I guess this goes back to the king too, as he's kind of done as a dual role there. He's not just the ruler, he's the defender of the faith and all kinds of stuff like that. So, but this has been going on for a long time. So let's go to 1776, January 16th, 1776. Good year for American history. 1776, January 16th, 1776, the Continental Congress approves enlistment of free blacks. So the Continental Congress. This is before that. So this wasn't really the Congress. This was the Continental Congress. This was the people that they were going to be fighting the English, but had their own Congress here stateside, or in the colonies, as they call them. So then they improved that free black men, or free black people could be enlisted uh, in that. 1 year later, in January 16th, in 1777, Vermont declares its independence from New York. Okay, Vermont always seems to get, I don't know, I guess I've heard plenty of people make jokes about Vermont, how it's kind of I've never been to Vermont. I don't know really much about Vermont, other than the fact that it's a state, but they declared their own independence from New York way back in 1777 on this day in history.com. 1793, French King Louis the 16th is sentenced to death by National Convention during the French Revolution. Was I supposed to say that word? I don't know. I don't know. I'm still new to YouTube, so if we're not allowed to talk about something, please, I'm sure somebody will let me know, or you guys will probably let me know that by not not doing that. But this is a historical thing. So French King Louis was sentenced to capital punishment, being unalived, uh, by the National Convention during the French Revolution on this day in 1793. That 93 also sticks out for those of us who are involved in numerology and are know something about numerology. 93 has a very significant meaning somewhere in there. So, excuse me, not much happened in the 1800s. Nothing notable. Okay, I'm going to jump up January 16th, 1909. Antarctic explorers Douglas Mawson, Edgeworth David, and Alistair Mackay reached the South Magnetic Pole as part of the Nimrod expedition. Wow, we got a lot of information there, don't we? Antarctic explorers, magnetic South Pole, the Nimrod expedition. I'm hearing a lot more and more about Nimrod and the the fall of Babylon and things like that lately. So they had to decide to have the Nimrod thing. I always thought that Nimrod was almost kind of like an insult too. I mean, because usually, I mean, but I mean, he was, I guess, once a thing. He, kind of did build the Tower of Babel. So, but he also had Fleet Feet of Clay. So I don't know. Is the thing gonna fall? We don't really know. I don't really know because going to Antarctica is not a possibility for the vast majority of people here in the world. You have to get special permits. It's pretty much locked down. You have to kind of wonder what is actually down there. It's not just to protect the land from not just to protect the thing for science use only, and protect the penguin population or something. There's something down there in Antarctica that I'm guessing, okay, that it seems to me that there's something down there in Antarctica that the people are not supposed to know about. And does this play into certain things these days about mysterious sightings or hollow Earth people, or you name your conspiracy? It's possible. It's possible. But then again, I don't know because it can't go. From what I've heard, once you get past the waves and everything else like that, uh, uh, the cold weather, I mean, the cold water, stuff like that. Well, you just can't you can't be there. So somebody will shut you down. I don't know if it's some sort of a military organization, it's under some sort of a military thing. When is a treaty like that, like the Antarctic Treaty, has ever been kind of enforced for as long as it has? So that's got to be a question. Has there ever been another treaty like that? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Let's go to 1913, January 16th, 1913. British House of Commons accepts Home Rule for Ireland. Great War gets in the way of it happening. So the British House of Commons accepts the Home Rule. I don't know what the Home Rule is. Probably should have looked that up. Too late now. What is the Home Rule? Well, anyway, it's way they accept the Home Rule for Ireland, but apparently they had a big, giant, great war that prevented it from getting that got in the way of it actually happening. So this kind of goes along with the thing like you've made your decision now try and enforce it. Or there's a famous line from I think one of the Supreme Court, one of the presidents to one of the Supreme Court things. I can't remember which one. I'm doing this off memory, but yeah, one of the presidents it said like, "Well, now you've made your decision. Good luck enforcing it." So I wonder if we're going to see kind of stuff like that happening pretty soon here, as far as our country goes and everything else. Our country, my country, I don't know, the United States. I guess our country. I guess you could be on the other side of the world watching this. I mean, it's possible. This is not exclusively American content here. This has to do with everybody. Uh, January 16th, 1919, the 18th Amendment is ratified today. That's the prohibition of alcohol one. So then this day, back in 1919, so it's 106 years ago today, the 18th Amendment has been ratified and prohibition of alcohol goes into effect. Seems like they're trying to kind of wind that one down too. Actually, on the news the other day, they had a problem with nicotine. So you have to wonder what's the big beef with nicotine. They want to lower the nicotine count. So which kind of makes you if you think kind of uh, outside the box, you have to kind of wonder. You have to say like, what is it about nicotine that they want to ban? I mean, we know that smoking is bad for you, and in full disclosure, I do smoke. I know it's bad for me. Okay. But please allow me the freedom to make my own choices here. Okay. And if anything else, I don't know. I'd like to get the price of cigarettes down, but I'll see that actually happening because once the price goes up, it never comes down. So this inflation that we're seeing might be here to stay. So I don't know. I'm dealing with a lot of stuff with alcohol, anyways. Myself, I haven't had a drink in quite some time, actually. But no, when I'm talking about alcohol, I've been reading the thing, so they take it very, very seriously. I'm studying to get my CDL, and so drinking is basically you just don't do it. So, but then again, I'm not on here to tell anybody to not do it. Okay, I mean, yes, you should be free to make your own mistakes. Be free to make your own as long as you're not hurting anybody else. That's my theory, or that's my policy on it. As long as you're not hurting anybody else, have at it. You just go have fun, something like that. A lot of things probably don't really need laws. They don't need to be laws on books, stuff like that. Just be common sense. Just don't hurt anybody. Okay, that's common sense. Okay, be responsible. Okay. But then other than that, I don't know, have as much fun as you want to. And you want to drink yourself in a stupor? Hey, that's fine. Just don't get behind the wheel of the car and do it afterwards. Anyway, 1924, so 101 years ago today, the British government of Stanley Baldwin resigns. I wonder how the I haven't heard anything lately. as far as the British government or the government of the United Kingdom. But apparently, I think like at least a month ago, they were not doing it in such great shape. But I don't expect the current government to resign. I remember there was a petition going around that people were signing up, and they got several million signatures on it for the government of the United Kingdom to resign. But I don't think anything came of it other than the fact that they got a whole bunch of signatures on it. And I think Elon Musk might have been behind that one too, or at least he threw his support behind it. So, but I have not heard any real news about what's going on in the United Kingdom. So I don't know. Wouldn't it be nice if politicians just kind of did the right thing and resigned when they knew that they were being ineffective? It's not. That's the thing of the past. Nobody ever resigns anything willingly or wantingly or something. Usually you have to screw up pretty bad in order to quote unquote resign these days. And then these days, it's like I'm taking time off to spend time with my family. Yeah. Please don't lie. You messed up. I mean, that's kind of the thing. Let's see, 1944. This day, 1944, January 16th, 1944, Eisenhower takes command of the Allied invasion force in London. Okay, because I actually did hear something about Eisenhower either today or early this morning or yesterday. Apparently, because well, the outgoing President Joe Biden gave his farewell address, and I guess there was some sort of correlation between the outgoing by his farewell address and then the famous one delivered by Dwight Eisenhower in would that be 1961? Yeah, I would guess so. Probably the one in 1961. Beware of the military-industrial complex. We've got different kind of threats right now. Even though I'm not saying that the military-industrial complex is not something that should be. Well, I think it's pretty much alive and well. Okay, and I'm probably still going to be alive and well, and they're probably the ones that are really running the shots here. So I'm not here to say anything about that. But there's now probably new threats, and hopefully the military is actually taking these threats serious, and hopefully helping and wanting to help the people, and hopefully we don't go into some sort of a military occupation or something like that. But I don't know. I could see it happening. Anything's possible these days. Anything is really possible these days. So in 1941, okay, so jumping back a year or two, uh, January 16, 1941, U.S. Vice Admiral Bellinger warns of an assault on Pearl Harbor. Okay, so there was an assault on Pearl Harbor. That was on December 7th. So they knew early on this year, and that was December 7th, 1941. So here's the day that the Vice Admiral in whatever, I mean, he's the United States Vice Admiral, whatever. I guess that's a pretty high position, I would say. He warns that there's an assault coming on Pearl Harbor. Did he know that it was going to happen 11 months later, or not? I don't know. That you be the question. You be the judge. You be the judge on that one. 1945, January 16th, 1945. Hitler. Yeah, that Hitler. Not Bob Hitler, and not Bill Hitler or Doug Hitler. The Hitler. You gotta wonder, is anybody actually named Hitler anymore? I mean, or did they all change their name? Did one guy really just mess it all up for everyone? So Adolf Hitler uh, uh, moves into the Fuhrer bunker in Berlin, where he lives until April 30th, in which case he was unalived himself, as legend has it. Okay, I don't know. That's the story. We don't. Nobody ever really knew where his remains were. I mean, just if you go by the official story, yeah, that's where he left the mortal coil here. So, but he moved into the bunker today, back in 1945, on January 16th. So nobody wants to. I don't think that living in a bunker for 3 months is. And I feel like somebody who's kind of like in my own jail right now. So, uh, yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound pleasing. So, anyway, let's move on. Let's move on here. January 16th, 1956, Egyptian President Nasser pledges to reconquer Palestine. So back then they were still having problems. They're still having problems today. But I guess according to the news as of yesterday, they do have a ceasefire deal going on in Israel between the Palestinians and the Israel or the Israelis, and they want to get the hostages out. And this has all got to happen before President Trump actually comes back into office or something like that. But for some reason, Joe Biden's probably going to get a whole bunch of the credit for it or something because it happened under his watch. I don't know. I don't know. We're seeing kind of like another Jimmy Carter moment, but this is back in 1956. Uh, the Egyptians, and again, Egypt. I seem to be in this kind of this world, this zone where we're bringing up Egypt a lot, or actually things that happened in ancient Egypt are still relevant today. So so you got to wonder really who kind of owns the whole thing, and I mean, did the people that live there, or the people that moved there, or and I don't know. I'm not going to get into that whole thing, but anyway, that's what happened in 1956. January 16th, 1963. 63, huh? Yeah, 1963. Khrushchev, Nikita Khrushchev, Soviet premier, claims to have 100 megaton bomb. Okay, I got nothing else to say on that one. Just the fact that it happened. Uh, January 16th, 1966. Guy named Harold R. Perry becomes the second black Roman Catholic bishop in the U.S. Why is this notable? I don't know, because he's the second one. He's the second black Roman Catholic bishop. Is he? I mean, and what does that mean? Is he a black bishop, or what are we talking about? Is what difference does it make? It shouldn't make any difference. But anyway, I guess that's a historical thing. So again, talk about uh, the whole thing with the whatever. Um, January 16, 1970. 4 months after leading a coup, Muammar Gaddafi takes over the rule of Libya. Okay. Why do I bring this up? Well, I mean, because it's about power. It's about changing of power because that's right now is we're at the very trail end of the transference of power, transference of political power. So on this day back in 1970s, and that's 54 years ago today, Muammar Gaddafi decided that he was going to take over the rule of Libya. So I think right now you're like right now we're seeing a lot of transference of power. Some of it is being done maybe peacefully, hopefully peacefully. Some of it nobody. I mean, once you're in power, people don't want to give up power. Okay, that's a big thing with the power thing. More power struggle stuff like this. In the year 1988, January 16th, 1988, Czechoslovakia, or well, Czech, like from Czech Republic. Czech dissident Václav Havel is arrested in Prague for taking part in demonstrations against the communist government. So, I mean, there's a guy over there, and I think he actually became president of Czechoslovakia, or well, the Czech Republic, eventually. But going back to 1988, he was arrested in Prague for taking part in demonstrations against the communist government. It's kind of strange because it seems to me that we're kind of moving towards kind of this quasi type of communism as it stands, and maybe it might not be. I don't. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was told that communism is wrong, and it never works out. Uh, but I mean, this is. I think I have the feeling that going along with the whole World Economic Forum and the you'll own nothing and be happy type of thing. That's pretty much almost like communism right there. So I think they're going to get their way one way or the other. The world is changing. Is there a way we can stop it? I mean, or can it be stopped, or is it just going to be all right? And maybe all we're just all the jitters that we have, or just because. Well, I think for your average person, they're not even going to notice it. It's just okay. It's another new rule. Great, fine. They're not going to think too much about it. So, but here's a guy who was arrested and for speaking out against the thing, and eventually he was rewarded. So hopefully, maybe someday I'll get rewarded. But then again, I'm trying to watch my mouth as far as what I really believe here, uh, in thing because I don't want to get in any further trouble right now. Speaking of watching your mouth, also in 1988, Jimmy the Greek Snyder. Well, his name was Jimmy Snyder, but it's Jimmy the Greek Snyder. He was fired from CBS for making racial remarks. I remember this. I remember this. Jimmy the Greek was kind of like he was a sports guy. He was like almost like a bookkeeper or a bookmaker or one of those type of things. That's why they called him the Greek. But he was doing some sort of commentary, and I don't exactly know what he said. And even if I did, probably couldn't be repeated here. But any which way, that got him fired. And that type of thing can get you fired today too. So you got to watch what you because we're in the end we're all just people. Okay, it doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter anything like that. We're all people. We all need to get along with each other, one way or the other. Uh, January 16th, 1990. I'm almost to the end here. I'm almost to the end here. 36 minutes, and I'm almost to the end. My little show here. In the 1990, in January 16th, 1990, two Bank of Credit and Commerce members plead guilty to money laundering. Does this sound like something that could happen today? It does, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Well, it didn't happen today, but it did happen today back 34 years ago, 35 years ago today. So two people from the Bank of Credit and Commerce, two members of the Bank of Credit and Commerce pled guilty. I didn't catch their names. It wasn't listed. Okay, but that does sound like something that could happen today. I think right now they're really cracking down on the money laundering thing. It's probably very easy. Probably got my own little story about that as far as maybe why I'm finding myself in the position I'm in. Not that I was money laundering or anything like that, but perhaps I wasn't keeping the best of records or anything like that. Maybe I'm being punished for something. I don't know. I would just hope to not endure any more punishment, any more than I already have here. I think if there's, I don't like to be very conspiratorial, but then again, I didn't willingly ruin my life. Okay, and I'm not. By the way, I am not. Well, no, I'm just going to leave that alone. Uh, January 16, 2019, United Kingdom Prime Minister Theresa May gets a vote of no confidence, 325 to 306. Okay, there's more transferring of power. Okay, same type of thing. Just kind of went to the thing. Uh, what am I getting? Notifications or something? Why is there always notifications? Can you turn off the notifications with another thing? I got a notification on my phone here. I got a notification on the computer. I still really didn't even know how to use the computer here so well. I figured out how to make a YouTube video, okay, but that's about it. So the last little tidbit of information that I'm going to relay to you here. January 16th, year 2021, Armin Laschet, Laschet, is elected leader of Germany's Christian Democrats, replacing the long-serving leader Angela Merkel. So that happened on this day back in 2021. So 4 years ago today, she was out. Angela Merkel was out for this new guy, Armin Laschet, something like that. So that's it for my historical review. Let's talk about so much about my little. So who am I and what am I doing here? My name's Cindy. I'm just trying to grow my channel here. That's what I mean. I've got really not a whole lot to do. I felt like maybe this is a good way of this is something that I find interesting, and I see that there's other people out here on YouTube that they're looking at dates and they're looking at they're decoding things, and I think there's kind of a general feeling amongst well a lot of people that something is not right in the world. So this is kind of my own little way of kind of speaking into the thing here. So hopefully you've kind of enjoyed my thing, or maybe you've learned something about whatever, or perhaps maybe I'm just I'm trying to be as funny as I can be right now. Maybe I'll get funnier as the time goes on. But again, I'm still kind of right now. I'm feeling a very little nasally. Excuse me. So I think I might have some sort of a sign. I might just kind of have a latent thing from well, just being ill not too long ago here. So, but don't worry, you can't catch it through the computer, and that's fine. So, wow, 40 minutes. Okay, it's a good thing. Should I keep talking or no? I think I'm done. I think I'm done. So, hopefully, if you like what I'm doing here, I've enjoyed listening to me. Please like the video. Please subscribe. It really would really help me out. I'd like to be able to get to do this so, or I can make them do this from my phone here, or unlock the live feature, live stream from the phone, or something like that. Maybe I can talk about different things. But I'm going to try and make this a general kind of a thing here, as I used to do this stuff on Facebook, but now I'm trying this on YouTube. Okay, because now I've got a computer, and now I can just press record again, because it's all about just being able to press record and go. So, which it should be, which I was able to do over there. I'm still able to do over there, but this one, I think you. Hopefully, maybe I can reach more people and stuff like that. So, hopefully, you found it entertaining. You wanna help me out? Please subscribe, and thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. So, I'm Cindy, your reporter from the past here. Again, I could probably go into well, we'll go into more of my time travel theories as time goes on here. What is time, anyways? I gotta wonder. I gotta wonder. There's a whole lot of people out there that are saying, "Well, time doesn't really exist. Reality doesn't really exist. The past doesn't exist. Nothing exists. We're only here in this moment, right here, right now." And actually, I can kind of agree with that segment or that sentiment or something like that. But anyway, Tway, thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your evening, and that's it. Bye.